In a successful experiment, the dependent variable must change based on changes in the independent variable. Is this the case with the runner's experiment? Did the dependent variable, the time it took Jose to run around the track, change based solely on the independent variable, the shoes that he was wearing? Or were there other possible variables involved? First, Jose assumed the type of running shoe would change the speed at which he ran. This is called a bias or a personal opinion. Eliminating that bias is one of the most difficult tasks to accomplish when planning an experiment. Jose did not have a control group in his experiment. A control group would have involved running one lap with one pair of shoes and the next lap with the same pair of shoes. If the times were the same as the times in his experiment, he might conclude that the brand of running shoe does not make a difference in running speed. Another way to improve the experiment would have been to have repetition. The more times the runner runs the lap with one type of shoe in 2 minutes and the other shoes in 2 minutes and 13 seconds, the more reliable the data becomes. Repeating the experiment gives us an average, which is more accurate picture than someone running just one time. Planning great experiments takes practice, even if you don't quite get right the first few times. Keep on planning and keep on experimenting. Now let's answer the following questions together. Variables that are not or cannot be controlled that could interfere with an experiment are called. These would be extraneous variables. Extraneous variables. A group in which everything is the same as the test group except that the independent variable stays the same is called a control group, because we're looking at the groups. Control group. Number 3, a variable that is kept the same during an experiment is called we're looking at the variable, so control variable. Number 4, a variable that is purposefully changed in an experiment. You're doing it on purpose. You're changing the independent variable. Number 5, a variable that is changed depending on the change in the independent variable is called a dependent variable. Dependent on the independent. Based on what you know, how would you improve Jose's running experiment? Should he try another pair of running shoes? Should he try another running field? Should he take another lap? Or let's just improve it by repetition. Do's and don'ts for designing and doing experiments. Do have a problem, question, and a hypothesis. Background research. Only have one independent variable and one dependent variable. Use a control group. Conduct the experiment numerous times. Don't have more than one independent and more than one dependent variable. Don't fail to do any background research on the subject. Don't conduct the experiment only one time. Now, question number 7, please go back and refer to Isabel and answer the questions here before you submit.